Now we've got a long-standing debate among couples. And if you're a couple, you've all experienced this, I'll bet, at some point, about how to balance the household chores. Here we go. The documentary Fair Play examines the unequal division of labor at home and in society. The film is inspired by author Eve Rodsky's New York Times bestselling book of the same name, Fair Play. It follows real families on their journey to change what they see as an unfair work dynamic at home. This is a clip from the trailer.
When it comes to care, we're so far behind.
We're saying we value work more than we value our families.
There's this hidden message there, which is it's just too expensive to support women.
Work-family conflict, it's not even about women. It's about men and gender pressures on men.
It is for men what feminism is for women.
For women to step into their full power in the world, it requires men to step into their full power in the home.
Fair Play director Jennifer Siebel Newsom and New York Times bestselling author, that's Eve Rodsky, join us for their first TV interview together. We like that. Jennifer Siebel Newsom is also we should say, First Lady of California. Her husband is Governor of California, Gavin Newsom. Nice to see you both. But Gavin doesn't have anything to do with this segment today.
No. Really? Unless he doesn't do the chores at home.
Yeah, was he one of the husbands that refused to be part of the film?
No, but Jennifer, let's start with you because you wrote, you produced, you directed this film. What was it about Eve's book that resonated with you?
But great question. Well, Eve is such a great storyteller.
Yes,
She's
she is.
so fun and sassy and intelligent and just offers so much. So I just fell in love with her when I read the book and had always wanted to have my next film dive deeper into the care economy and just really fell in love with the opportunity and boom, it felt like it was part of this trilogy of films that I'd made from misrepresentation to the mask you live in, where I could bring more dialogue in about the benefits to men in stepping into care at home and really valuing the feminine.
But it's a real issue for couples, isn't it?
It is a real issue. Yeah. And it obviously starts with communications and the ownership mindset. And we don't talk enough about what goes on at home. Public lives are private issues. And so the benefit, again, to people in watching the film and reading the book, which are separate, is that they can glean so much insight into, again, the benefits of men doing more of the care and invisible work at home.
But, you know, Eve, Jennifer's right. You were such a great storyteller. And Seth, your husband, gets a lot of airtime in this. But you said, you know, it started with an argument about blueberries, but it really wasn't about the blueberries. Not really.
That's how it usually works.
That's how it works. You know, as a mediator, I'm a mediator by training. They say presenting problems are not the real problem. And I think the home is actually it's an important place to have a film about because it's actually really dangerous. We think we're fighting over the sponge in the sink. We think we're fighting over the fulfiller of my husband's smoothie needs. But actually what we're talking about is real equality and what it means to be a partner in the home, because you can't have women and expect them to be in the workplace or in government or any places of equality if you don't bring equality into the home.
Can you talk about invisible work? I think it's such an important concept.
Well, I think when we think about invisible work, we joke. Like, I love Seth so much, but he actually really thought that taking care of extracurricular sports was showing up at the Little League field. Not the 80-person text chain, not ordering the equipment, not signing up for 1980s portal, where you know you can't figure out where you're going to bring your child's birth certificate. There's a lot of things that go behind just the task itself, and so women are often doing 2/3 or more of what it takes to run a home and family, and even more of the cognitive labor. And so that's what we're asking people to share.
The cognitive labor is huge.
Yeah.
We've been dumb all morning because we've been acting cocky.
Of course.
And you made a list at one point of all the stuff you do. I don't know if we've survived the list.
Except she called it something else.
Yeah, I called it something.
Yeah, because you're saying just because you're not getting paid doesn't mean it doesn't count.
Exactly.
That's a very good point.
We actually talk about the 20+ tasks that women do at home a day. You would pay them $116,000 a year for that work, but we don't because we don't value it, we don't see it, and it's often on the backs of women of color, immigrant women. So again, we have to have a real shift in this country around care work, domestic work, and how we have to value that because it's what makes our lives so rich. It's our humanity.
Another topic it touches on is the idea that dishes or laundry are gender role specific, but these arguments or spats you may have, they're deeper, more broader issues about the systemic roles, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, I think assumptions are really, you know, in second grade we heard, right? Like if you assume something, it makes an ass out of you and me.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's happening in the home. I think because of someone's gender or who makes more money, there's all these assumptions. We don't talk about these issues. We just assume that someone is going to do them. And in every other place, imagine, you know, Nate, I walk into your office and I say, hey, what should I be doing today? I'm just going to wait here and until you tell me what to do.
Right, right.
I know I wouldn't be working for you tomorrow. But that's how we're acting in the home. We're not acting as partners.
Assumptions are dangerous.
Yeah.
They're dangerous.
So this documentary is also dangerous because it makes people have conversations and
uncomfortable.
They can be uncomfortable because people want to defend what they've been doing. They want to, and everyone's tired at the end of the day, so you feel like you've done a lot, right? You don't feel like you can do more. So as a mediator, Eve, I'm curious, what advice do you have for people watching this? Because they're going to have tough talks afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is my advice. This one man early on said to me, my home is the place where we wait to decide who's taking the dog out, right when it's about to take a pee on the rug. And so my point is that this could be better for everybody in the family system. If you decide who's doing what in advance, then you don't have to make that decision over and over and over again.
You don't have to wait for the conflict.
And then you can get your time back. This is about valuing each other's time and feeling like a family unit is really the most important unit. And however your family structure looks, not making assumptions about that unit.
Makes sense.
Well, and we know, right, that if men do 40% of the child care and domestic work, or 50 more minutes a day on average, that they're less likely to be on prescribed meds, antidepressants, they're happier, they have greater longevity, they have better sex lives, their wives have less anxiety and depression, they have more time for their careers and pursuits outside of the home.
So that gives,
Everybody wins.
Better sex lives.
Yeah, and the children have better cognitive development,
right.
fewer behavioral problems, and healthier long-term relationships.
Yeah.
So again, it's a win-win.
Can you just briefly tell us how the governor stacks up with this? I know you're not going to say anything like that, but I'm just curious.
Throw him under the bus. Go ahead.
No. You know what? No, he's awesome. So when he has the time, because we have 40 million residents in California, and you know we've had a rough go of it with the pandemic and wildfires and this heat wave.
But he's a former janitor, so.
But he was a janitor in college, paid his way. He's an incredible cleaner, and he's a really good cook.
There you go. That's the trifecta right there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jennifer Siebel Newsom and Eve Rodsky. So glad you guys could be here in the studio with us.
Yeah.
Fair Play is available on demand, and we'll be right back.
Watch it. Talk about it.